You never know what somebody's going to say when they introduce you. And you just pray to God it sounds good and it's not too hard to live up to by the time you step up on stage. Thanks so much. I truly do believe, and it's important, that we are not the roles we play. And so many of us get so lost in it, and then we wonder what happened to our passion. Our passion got lost when we got lost. There's something else I want to mention. I was thinking when she was talking. The three of us who were speaking spoke, a few minutes ago. When we are a community of women, we are a community of women. There is nothing we should not be able to do to help each other out. Community, networking, that's what it is about. I spoke to a group over here, great creative new business they're starting. Taking the flowers at the funeral, at the wakes, and doing something beautiful with them and sending them home with others so that you get to bring the essence of the person you've lost home with you. Can you imagine if everybody here, sadly, who lost somebody called this one company, how we would be helping two entrepreneurs take off? We can do that. We can help each other so easily take off and become who we want to be. If nothing else, I'd love to leave you that message. We are all in this together. Alrighty, with that little preamble, I'll start in with my talk. But I truly do believe that's so important. I speak at so many networking organizations. We're not out here alone. We are not out here alone. We've got each other. Alrighty, so now my mechanical skill set. I think it's working. All right? 5 steps to claiming your dreams is the talk I'm going to do, but I want to talk first about reclaiming your passion. I went around before we started talking at different tables, asking people, why did you come? What do you hope to get out of being here? And everybody had something slightly different, but so many, it's about coming alive. Many of you, in my experience, I learned are in transition. As a therapist, I can tell you the very best time in the world to work with people is when they're in transition, because all of the defenses and the self-images you had before don't fit the woman you're becoming. So in a sense, your guard is down, your defense is down, your self-image is down. You are ripe. You are ripe to take off and fly. And that's truly what I want to talk about, is taking off and flying. Because we are not meant to survive this journey, we are meant to live it. And you do not live it without your passion. Because that's what makes us fun, it makes us wild, and I love wild women. Powerful wild women make it worth living. Really. When my daughter, I have a son and a daughter. When my daughter was growing up, I used to have a thing on the fridge. It said, good girls go to heaven, bad girls go everywhere. And, and she would say to me, you are a weird mother. And I'd say, darling, thank God you didn't get Nana. You got me, okay? So, really, you've got to live this life and have a ball. And don't ever be a good girl. Good girls live by somebody else's value system. Good girls live by what somebody else told them they should do and who they should be. That's based on who they are. I have, some may have noticed, a slight Boston accent. But I'm close to Boston, so a bunch of you must have the same thing, all right? But my father, I grew up in Southie, in South Boston. So I'm a wee bit Irish, and I was raised to be Catholic. They tried hard, all right? But some of us don't work well at some things, okay? So what I want to say is my dad's image for me was, if you are from the projects, you belong in the projects. And when I tried to leave, I was betraying my heritage. I was betraying the Boston Irish. And he would say to me, those harps who live in Chicago and New York, wish they were us. They try to celebrate St. Patty's Day as if they were really Irish. We are the only Irish in the country. Okay? Think about it. But those are the belief systems who was telling me who I was supposed to be. How many of you got belief systems given to you when you were a child? About who, right? How many of you are living your passion right now? Oh, God bless us and save us. We've got work to do this afternoon. Okay? You have got to start. Living your passion is really letting go of so many of the belief systems we had as kids. It truly, truly is. Letting go the self-image you developed. Letting go, okay, press this button, wrong button. Press that button, oh, God, good button. Okay. Living out of the box. This is living in the box. You were living according to who you are supposed to be. When you live who you are supposed to be, you never discover who you are. And if you don't discover who you are betraying your entire life purpose. None of us came here to be who we are supposed to be because nobody knows who we are supposed to be. Even we don't. We know who we are supposed to be today. That says nothing about who we are going to be tomorrow. And if you invest everything in a belief system about who you are today, you're going to be stuck. You'll be absolutely stuck. That is so important. My wish for all of you is to take off and fly. And I used to be an airline stewardess, so I know a wee bit about flying. And I was international, so darling, we're not going into a lot of stories. But believe me, some of those rumors were true, all right? I watched them. I never did any of them, but they were true, all right? So really, take a look. Does the dream you have at this very moment represent who you are? Really important. Does it represent who you are today? If it doesn't, it's time for you to start a new dream. And I truly believe this. I wrote a book, several books, but one of my books in the back is Dreams Are Only the Beginning of Becoming Who You're Meant to Be. You need a dream, and they continue and continue to change. When I was growing up living in the projects, my dream was to live in a tenement. I thought living in a tenement was the epitome of wealth. I could not imagine one family having the entire floor of a building. That to me was beyond imagination. So truly, that was my dream, and I was going to live it. So when different friends, Tiny and other friends, chose to become hookers because it was good money, and in our mind that was good money, they danced in the cages at night and then they hooked afterwards. They were making good money. I was determined I was going to live in a tenement, and nothing was going to take me from that dream. Think about it. How many of you have had a dream that kept you on a path, that allowed you to stay focused? Because that's what dreams do. And that was my goal, was to live in a tenement. As I got older, and my father thought I was getting too big for my britches. But as I got older, it was ready to get too big for my britches, as skinny as I was back then. As I tell my children, I'm still tall and skinny. People are just changing in their makeup now. It's just different, okay? But take a look at this. My dream was to do that, was to live in a tenement. It kept me straight until I became a late part of my junior year. And in my place, 50 of us started freshman year. 15 of us graduated from high school in St. Augustine's High School in South Boston. 15 of us graduated. Not a great record. And we were supposed to, those of us who did, getting married over the summer. And I had a good Irish boy I was going to marry over the summer, because you marry your own kind. And I said, I don't mind marrying Michael, but I want something more. I want to go to college. And my dad said, you don't educate girls, they're a waste of money. They get married, they have kids, and then they blow a good education. So I said, well, I'm going to go to nursing school because I can afford that. God knows how that came out, but I was going to afford it. So I applied to County Hospital Nursing School, and they told me I couldn't go because my high school was unaccredited. So I was not permitted to go to nursing school because I came from an unaccredited high school in the inner city. So then I said, I'm getting out of here. Giving up an image of who I was supposed to be. Getting out of the box. So I said, I am, and I spent a fair amount of time in detention. I was a good girl, they misunderstood me. So I spent a lot of time in detention. So I said, I am going to become a nun because I can get out of here by becoming a nun. So I applied to the Sisters of Mercy, God bless their little souls, who told me that I originally came from an orphanage and I was adopted. You know this? Oh, God bless us and save us. Aren't they amazing? All right? They'll get you into heaven. But in any event, I came from an orphanage and I was adopted and taken to the projects in Southie. And when I applied to the Sisters of Mercy, they told me the church doesn't allow illegitimate children into the convent. So again, and I share this with you because how many of you have had dreams and you run into a roadblock and that's permission to stop? You run into the next roadblock and you know God's telling you you're going in the wrong path. That's New Age thinking. Throw it out the window. All right? Throw it out the window. If your intention is to follow a dream, follow it. I then told my junior teacher when I wasn't in detention that I wanted to become a nun, and she said, "Why, Dorothy?" Like, oh my God, hope it's not my community. And I said, "Sister, I want to get out and I want to do social work. I want to support young mothers." And so she wrote to 1,000 communities around the globe to see if anybody would allow an illegitimate child in the convent. They found a community in Quebec, Canada, that staffed the prisons. They worked with prostitutes, and they had a home for unwed mothers with 2,000 babies. And they said, "We work with prostitutes, we'll take a risk on an illegitimate child." Can you believe that? So here it is, a girl who learned how to speak French from a nun with the brogue, heading off to Quebec. This is the truth. This is the honest to God. Life is too crazy. Why make up a fib? Honest to God. So this good Irish girl joins a French-Canadian community, and we speak 1 hour a day. Really didn't make a whole lot of difference because, what can I say? Bonjour. Bonjour, monsieur. Thank you. You know, that was it. Just think of this. Think of how many obstacles have you had in your life? And how many have said to you then, it's okay to stop. It is never, ever okay to stop. Can I really do this? You bet your butt. If you want it, you can do it. When I was accepted into the Sister Service, the Servants, the French name, they're known in the States as the Good Shepherd Sisters. When I became a Good Shepherd Sister, and I had this long black habit on, Mother Superior said, "Sister James Marie." We had to take a male name because women don't have the strength to live the rigors of religious life. So I was Sister James Marie. James got in a lot of trouble also. Okay? If you ever saw Maria, she was a good kid and misunderstood. Okay? But when you have this dream and you want it, you go for it. Mother Superior said, "Sister James, you're going to college." I said, "Mother, I tried. They won't let me in." She said, "Sister, I'm sending you." I thought, whoa. And so Mother sent me to college. And once Mother sent me to college, when it came to my master's and my PhD, nobody really cared because I had a BA from a credible college. I share this with you. Can I really do it? Do you really want it? If you really want your dream, you can do it and nothing will stop you. Nothing. Get that. It doesn't matter what your dream is. Nothing can stop you when you truly, truly want it. Because I believe our soul speaks through our body. I haven't practiced religion in 30 years, but I'm extremely spiritual. And I truly believe that our dreams come from our soul. And our soul is calling us to continuously become who we are meant to be. Every single step of the way. And if it is your dream, it is your soul calling you to the next step. Think about this. You have a dream. If your dream is to be a teacher, you apply to colleges where that's the specialty. You finish college, you get certified, you're in a classroom. You find out the first year in, this ain't really what I thought it was. Okay? Many of us have had that happen when we work hard for a dream. So you get there and you realize this isn't it. And sadly, some people come to me and say, "Dr. Dorothy, I made a mistake." No, you didn't. What happened is you went to college, you climbed a mountain, you're at the peak. You now have a vista you never had from down here. While you're at this vista, you can now see the world, see opportunities you never would have seen in your life. And to me, that is Spirit's way of saying, it's time for your next dream. You did not make a mistake. It is time for you to go to your next dream. Follow from your heart and go to your next dream. So important. Dreams are what give us passion. They're what give us excitement. They're what give us creativity. It's amazing when you have a dream how creative you can become. Amazing. When you're surviving this journey, you've lost your passion. You've lost your creativity. You get a dream, my God, everything in you comes flying out. And nothing is impossible. And it changes your view of the world. I have a dream. I just realized anything's possible. I now see the world differently. And you begin to take off. That dream gives you the passion that you need. So if you're not claiming your passion right now, darling, you're not living your dream. You're surviving this journey. Being raised Christian, I truly believe Christ did not die so we could survive. He died so we could live. What a waste of a good crucifixion if you're not even living for the reason he died. Truly, I mean, think about it. You got to have a sense of humor here. Without humor and faith, you're not going to get through the journey. So just take a leap. Trust me on this, okay? I do remember a few things from being Sister James Marie. It's hard being a saint, but somebody's got to do it. And I just said earlier to somebody, it's hard being a sex symbol, but somebody's got to do that too. I'm volunteering for both jobs. It's the way it goes, okay? So here we go. Maybe we're going someplace. Okay, we're going someplace. Just take a look at this and know that you really can do this. You really can live your dream. There is nothing in the world. If it is your soul calling you, it's what you've come here to do. And if it's what you came here to do, nothing is going to take it away from you. Nothing, and nobody can stop you. One of the things that's important to note is that women, our power is not the same as a bulldog's. All right? For us to be powerful doesn't mean we are Mack trucks running people down. Our power is in our intuition. Our power is in our inner knowing. Our power is in our passion. Our power is in our willingness to be. When you study yin yang, and I'm certified in 9 modalities of complementary health care, 5 of them are Eastern medicine. Yin yang, the male and the female, okay? When you are balanced and you're living the yin, which is us, women's gift is their ability to be in the essence of who we are. The male gift is to do. We want to have the strengths of both. We want to be able to do. We want to be able to manifest our dream. But that's secondary. Our gift is in the state of being. We want to be who we truly are as awe-inspiring, spiritual, intuitive, even psychic creatures. If your mother, you know things you're not supposed to know. The eyes behind the back of your head are just the beginning. We know. We are so intuitive, we are tuned in. That's our gift. So our power comes in our clarity and in our intent, not in our will. When you are strong-willed, you are a bull in a china shop going forward. And when you do that, you do not see the 100 subtle messages that are all along the way. And those subtle messages can open up the world for you. So you really need to begin to look. Our gift is not as a bulldog. It's as powerful forces that have clarity and an awareness of who we truly, truly are. It's important to take a sense and a look now at what are your, I don't know where I am. God bless us and save us. We've got to catch up with ourselves here. All right? I could talk for 4 hours, and I only get an hour. Kathleen, the next speaker, said she got 3.5 hours. I only got 1. She was fibbing, okay? And she's in the bathroom, so I can't talk about her behind her back, so I'll be quiet. All right? But take a look at this. Take a look for you at what's going on. The first step in claiming your dream. Eliminate all the energy drains in your life. And we've got many of them. People telling you you can't. Who came up with that odd idea? What were you thinking? I mean, how many of us have been told that? Oh, that's too big. Only they get to do that. Oh no, that you don't have it in you. Let the other people do that. Become their support staff. I don't want to be somebody's support staff. I'm not really good at following. It's not my strength. Know who you are. I will follow you, darling, until I don't want to anymore. That's sort of how that works. Know what are the eliminating factors for you. What drains your energy? If you have a dream, who do you let take that energy away? Who do you let sap all the energy out of your dream? It's either going to be you're supposed to live in the box and do what you're supposed to do. It's going to be the role you're supposed to be playing as if you only get to have one. Take a look at your belief systems. Many of us are mothers doing what we're supposed to do because we're mothers. There's no such thing. Look at it. What is happening in your life? What negative thoughts have you brought in? I can tell you as a therapist what I say to my patients. I don't believe in blaming your mother and father. Whoever they were, they did the best they could. Take a look at when you were 18, you left your parents' home. They told you not to talk to strangers. You're doing it all day today. They told you not to eat before dinner. How many of us eat before dinner? Not me, that's why I'm thin, all right? So look at this. They told us certain things and we throw it away. If you chose to keep the message, you're no good. My mother's message to me was I had no substance, a good heart but no substance, so I'd never amount to anything. So take a look at the messages. Do you want to keep the messages you brought? Take a look. You threw some of them out. Why did you throw those out? Why did you choose to keep those messages that keep you down? Nobody keeps you down but you. Nobody destroys your dreams but you. I shared that piece about wanting to go to college, wanting to get out. I ran into obstacles every place I went. But they were obstacles. They weren't reasons to stop. They were just obstacles. So take a look at you. How many obstacles give you permission to run from the dream you truly have? And then you wonder why you're not living the life you came here to live. Why you're not living your passion. Because you're not going to find it living somebody else's dream for your life. Look at it. And if you need to take time, this to me the purpose of meditation and reflection, I meditate every morning when I wake up and I meditate every evening before bed. The purpose of meditation, sit down and reflect. And take time to reflect on this. What are the negative messages you give yourself that give you permission not to live your life? It's so important to get those and know that they don't come from your parents, they don't come from the world, they come from you. Because I am not the only woman in the world out here to say to you, go for it. This wonderful woman who was up before me, she's telling you the same thing, go for it. The other two speakers coming in are going to tell you the same thing. Go for it. You're always going to find people that tell you don't. But open, broaden your horizon, and you'll find many who are going to tell you to go for it. Absolutely go for it. Take a look at your values. A tough one for women, and Kathleen will go into this in detail. Message my father gave me. Rich people are selfish. Rich people don't care about people like us, the real people. Money makes you corrupt. Money makes you greedy. If that's a value system you possess, tell me how you're going to start making $300,000 and $400,000 a year. You can't do it. So your companies are going to go in and out, in and out, in and out. Powerful people are cruel and abusive. That's a belief system. I came from a home where my parents would fight over whether or not he whipped us daily with the buckle end of the belt or the flat end of the belt. Did he beat us up with his fist closed or did he beat us up with his fist open? There are people out there who live that way. It doesn't have to be you. So take a look. If you believe because of experiences in your childhood that being powerful means being cruel, being powerful means stepping on people, being powerful means hating the world, are you ever going to want to claim your power? So notice your dreams and then notice your value systems. Do they support your dreams or do they contradict it? Inner reflection is a way of life. It has to be. Do your values support your dreams and do they support who you want to become? Because if there is a contradiction in there, if there is a conflict, you lose out. So take a look at your values. Do they need to be realigned? Understand what your thoughts are. Understand what feeds you. Understand you your own worst enemy. And if you are, darling, bring in others who can love you out of it. Bring in other women, other support groups, other networking groups that can allow you to see the truth because you're not able to see it yourself. Don't throw away your dream because it doesn't fit your value system. It's time to change your value system. And I never mean going against your integrity. Never go against your integrity. But change the value systems that keep you limited so you can't live your dream. And take a look at your fears. Every single one of us has fears. Every one of us. Fear will never leave you. The objective is to take power away from fear. So you have a fear. I want to start a new business, but I'm scared it could fail. So what? Get a job afterwards. I want to do this, but I'm frightened it won't look well. Speak to somebody. Help present it so it looks terrific. We all have fears. There's nobody walking this planet without them. The difference is some people use that as permission not to have a dream. When I have a fear comes up, I call a girlfriend. I remember once I called my girlfriend Barbara and I said to her, Barb, I am so scared. I've got to speak, and this must have been 10, 15 years ago. I've got a speaking engagement tomorrow, and I almost feel hypocritical, like I really don't know what I'm doing. I was speaking on energy medicine, and she said to me, you're right, you're a phony. You know all those people you healed? It was an accident. You know all those patients you've seen in the past 20 years? It was a miracle they got better working with you. You know. And by the time she was done, I said, hey, chick. She said, are you back yet? I'm back. We all go there, having permission to know somebody who loves you enough that you can run it by them. And they, oh, I heard that. And they will put you in, now everybody stare at her and make her humiliated. All right. What's your dream, darling? To be the center of attention, and you just won. All right. See that? It happens. It happens. A gorgeous blonde. Look at that. Right there. Whether it's real or not, the gorgeous blonde. All right. All right. So look at this. Really look at what's happening, okay? Notice we all have the fears. Don't let them govern your life. Acknowledge them and get rid of them, all righty? Living in joy and peace comes from living out of the box. When you live who you're supposed to be, you are very contained. There is no inner peace because every day you're fighting against yourself. And when you fight against yourself, there is no inner peace. And inner peace and passion go hand in hand, darling. It isn't one or the other. You want to be wildly passionate and be filled with inner peace. Inner peace comes from living your dream. Passion comes from living your dream. When you are living who you are supposed to be, and doing it valiantly, doing it with all of you invested in it, you've got it. You absolutely have it. Number 4 here. Set goals always out of your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is where you visit. It can never be where you live. If it's where you live, you stagnate. If you stagnate, you lose your dream, you lose your passion, and then we're back at the beginning. Coast a while in the comfort zone because it feels nice, and then kick yourself in the butt and it's time to get moving again. If you're going to be passionate, you can't become sedentary. You got to keep moving. You got to keep growing. You've got to keep changing. You've got to stay alive. Truly. Set your goals. And if your goal is as an entrepreneur, be clear about your vision. Be clear about your dream. And if you're not an entrepreneur, you work for another company, be clear about why you're there. Be clear about what you want for your life. What is your dream for your life? Where do you want to go with it? What do you want to do with it? If you're in a particular company, whether you're going to be there for 1 year or 20 years, what do you want to get from that company? You want to give back to that company, but all relationships have to be mutual. You need to get as much as you give, or you're in an unhealthy, imbalanced relationship. So give everything you've got to that company, whether it's your company or somebody else's. But get just as much out of it. If you're not getting fed emotionally, spiritually, and physically, you're in the wrong place, or you're doing it incorrectly. You have got to be fed. Not a starvation diet either. You've got to be fed. So take a look at it, all right? You want clarity of purpose. What am I doing if I am creating my own company? What's the clarity of my purpose? Well, I sort of kind of want to be in sales. Good luck making that happen. Okay? What do you want to sell? Do you want to sell it online? Do you want to sell it in brick and mortar? What do you want to do? How do you want to do it? Get clear on it. This is where a woman's power comes into play. How do you want that to look? This is where your creativity comes into play. Be clear. Know exactly what you want to do. Set that as your intention. This is my intention. And run into roadblocks. You will. We often do. It's just a roadblock. Stick with your intention. And then devote yourself to your dream. And do not get caught in who you're supposed to be. Devote yourself. When you are filled with passion and vibrancy, think of the message you're giving to your children. When you're filled, okay, now she's the center of attention. Shut up all of your phones, ladies. The world does not need you. This is your time to be nurtured. This is your time to take care of yourself. Okay? Truly, we don't do it enough. This is it. It's okay, honey. Don't be embarrassed. They're just staring at you. You don't know how to shut it off? Not all of us are technologically astute. There's an off button. Okay. All right? Now, bringing it all together. You have got to claim your dream. You have got to claim it. Dream it. Know what it is. Know where you want to go with it. Always. And truly, I share this with you, not because I read about it, but I've lived it. I mean, I wanted to go to nursing school, and I couldn't get in because my high school was unaccredited. Many years later, about 24 years ago now, I became bored. How to do this really quickly. I was in private practice. I was blessed as a therapist for about 4 months and realized I had a 6-month waiting list. That stayed with me for 17 years till I left this country. I lived overseas for a number of years till I left this country. And after about 3 years, I was bored. And a friend of mine said, go see a reader. I said, oh my God, those are those people. She said, go see one. I said, why? I'm educated. Why would an educated woman go see a reader? She said, just pretend for a minute you're not, okay? Go see a reader. And I said, sure, why not? It's $50, I'm rich. And so I went to see this reader, and they said, she channels a 17th century Scotsman. I said, oh my God. It's not even a woman. You know? I mean, really. And I spent money on this crap. And she said to me, your gift is in your hands. And I went to carpentry, thinking my babies and I are starving to death. We are never going to make it if I have to be a carpenter. You know, that was for Christ. It wasn't for me. All right? So what ends up happening is that I studied. I went, and she said, study acupressure. Didn't know what it was, found out what it was, studied it. Studied acupressure. Then I became involved with this study with this man in Amherst, and he taught reflexology. Then he taught iridology, looking at the iris and doing medical diagnoses through the iris. He said, you need to work with my mentor, Iona Teagarden, who created Jin Shindo, a combination of American psychiatry and Japanese and Korean acupressure. And I went on and on, spent 4 years with Barbara Brennan in Long Island, became certified in 9 modalities, and changed my practice. And eventually my patients said, teach us what you know. So for 19 years, I had a pioneer school in energy medicine, teaching a method of energy medicine I created in a 4-year program in the United States. What ended up happening is one of my graduates, who was assistant head of cardiology at St. Francis Hospital in Hartford, said, we want to start an integrated health department. And we want to be affiliated with a structured program. You know, they have Reiki and other people out there who've trained a day or a weekend. Or he said, I know your program. It's 4 years. I graduated from it. Would you become affiliated with St. Francis Hospital? We will give you our entire educational facility if you will develop a medical internship in family medicine. And I said, I couldn't even get into nursing school. And it ended up happening that my school became much larger than I ever envisioned. It was an avocation. I ended up being affiliated with 50 hospitals across the country because students were flying in around the country. And these hospitals were all affiliated with me where they did their 2-year medical internship. I then got a call from the University of Connecticut Medical School I became a clinical instructor at the medical school for a number of years. And as a clinical instructor at the medical school, they appointed me to be the assistant head or the associate head of an advisory board. We co-chaired, myself and another man from D.C. We co-chaired the advisory board of a multi-million-dollar grant the University of Connecticut received from the National Institutes of Health. And I'm sitting at that chair, looking at my board members, scientists from around the country, thinking, I couldn't get into nursing school. Think about this. And I truly don't believe I'm exceptional. I think all of us have this skill, this ability to accomplish the impossible constantly, but only if you dream it. Only if your passion, your soul, and your heart go into it. Your dreams don't come from your head. They don't come from logic. We're women. Our dreams come from our heart. They come from our soul. Our head backs it up. When you have your dream and your heart and your soul is invested, you know what it is. Your logic helps you get there. But if you try to find a logical dream, it's somebody else's, it's not yours. All right? Believe me, it's not yours if it's purely logical. It has to come from passion. So you want to dream it, you want to focus on it, and then you want to claim it. I had somebody come up and they wanted help with me. They wanted to be a public speaker. And literally she presented me, she goes, Dorothy, I want to be a public speaker. I said, really? To what public? Well, anybody who will hire me. I thought, honey, I'm not paying a quarter. You know, if you want to be a public speaker, darling, claim it. You got a set. Claim it. Okay? Go for it. Whatever your dream is, own it. Jump into it. You cannot have a dream that doesn't correspond to your self-image. Have a dream, own it, grow into it. Sometimes our dreams happen immediately. I want to have this business, you go and you make it happen. Sometimes it happens years later. When my kids were little, they said to me, Mom, and this is the innocence of youth. Mikey came home and he was in about the first or second grade, and he said, Mommy, if I go to sleepaway camp, I can get a college scholarship. I said, really? Isn't that wonderful? What's a scholarship? I don't know, but the coach in the soccer school said that I could get a scholarship if I wanted one. And I called my girlfriend indignant that they would say this to my baby. And she said, darling, if he goes to sleepaway camp, you and I can go to the Caribbean for a week. Holy mother, how much does it cost? I swear to God, how much does it cost? And then she said to me, well, it's not much. I said, I'll pay it. So good old Michael Patrick and Amy Lynn went to sleepaway camp. And every year they would go away to sleepaway camp because I was the best mother in the whole world. And every year it was Turks and Caicos, it was Barbados, it was St. Martin. I was a mother to beat all mothers. I got to tell you, sainthood is right up there for me. Think about this. And I remember swimming one year. I was swimming with Maureen, and I just said, you know, one of these days, darling, this is mine. She said, honey, we all have that dream. I said, Maureen, I'm telling you. And I forgot about that dream. I went back and I did life, and we did soccer, and we did baseball, and we did basketball, and we did track, and we did all the things my beautiful children love to do. All right? Then they decided college, and I said to them, you can go. I don't care if it's UMass, UConn, anywhere you get in, you can go. Of course, Amy then picked Georgetown, and Mikey picked Cornell. Why not? Really, I was bored. So 3 jobs later, they went and graduated, Dean's List, every semester from these schools. God bless their little souls. And they did it. And I drove Mikey up to Cornell when he was a freshman. Every penny I made from my school, I put away for Mikey's college. I drove him up, dropped him off at Cornell, sobbed the whole way home because my baby was gone. I knew my life wasn't over, but this stage of my life was over. And I just shared this with you. Sobbing. By the time I hit West Hartford, I was so sick to my stomach. My head was throbbing. I wanted to vomit. But I'm a good Irish girl, so I went in and poured a large glass of red wine instead. So, some of our traits we have to keep. Really, I mean, some of them are worth keeping. So So I pour this glass of wine, and I'm about halfway done thinking, I live in this huge 4-bedroom colonial. With the place to me was, I grew up in the projects. The kitchen was bigger than our apartment. And it felt like an empty cave. And I thought, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? This isn't it. And I'm thinking, I can get a smaller house, I can get an apartment, I can get a condo. And I thought, darling, you've worked 3 jobs to do what you set out to do. Give your kids the life you never had. Now's your turn. What do you want? And I thought, that's it. I picked up the phone, I called American Airlines and said, get me a one-way ticket to Anguilla in the British West Indies. And I called a real estate agent, said, put my house on the market. Called my office and said, I'm leaving the country in 3 weeks. I had a massive take sale, sold all these American antiques that I know the world would be fighting over, and gave 3 rooms of furniture to my girlfriend who was just divorced and left with nothing. 10 years I lived on Anguilla. 10 years I lived in the British West Indies and swam 2 hours a day. And many a time I would be in tears swimming thinking, this is my life. This is my life. And I'm a kid from an orphanage who was raised in the projects, who couldn't go to nursing school. So think about what you can accomplish when you have a dream, when you bring your passion, your power, and your gifts into it. There is nothing you can't do. You're going to hear now about finances. We're it. Sugar daddies don't come often. And my girlfriend keeps saying, 95 and blind with a lot of money, I'm ready. All right? I'll say, sweetie, in the meantime, get a job. Okay? Get a job. All right? We have got to take care of ourselves financially. And you cannot live this life if you don't claim your power and your leadership. Even if you're the leader of your own house. We are born leaders. Every one of us are born leaders. You've got to live it. You've got to be there. You've got to dream it. Read this, please. Read this. This is important. The great danger is not that your hopes are too high and you fail to reach them. It's that they're too low and you do. Do not set your goals low so that you don't fail. Who cares if you fail? What did you learn along the way? Did you laugh? Did you have a good time? Truly, there is that saying, when I get to heaven, I want to finish this up, not clean and ladylike. I can assure you I won't. But it's sliding into the bases, getting as dirty as you need to. Go for it. Live your dream. When you do, you will have your finances and you will have owned your leadership. And we are all leaders. Do not for a moment pretend you are powerless and weak. That is an illusion we cannot afford to live. So when I see women come into my office to see me, even executives come in. I'm working with an executive right now. She hit the glass ceiling. She was a senior VP at a major corporation and hit the glass ceiling and got tired of it and eventually was downsized. And she came to see me and said, I'm used to being powerful. I'm not anymore. What do I do? I said, were you powerful or was your job powerful? Oh, I guess I was. Right. Now, how do you want to claim your power and how do you want to do it? And truly, that's my question to you. How do you want to claim your power and how do you want to do it? You will start by having a dream and realizing nothing is impossible. If a kid from an orphanage can live in the Caribbean for 10 years, learning to whine and grind better than any of them, darling, and swimming 2 hours a day, and learning words you never knew existed. God bless us and save us. All right? We can do anything we set our mind to. And I truly wish you all well. I truly wish you get to live all of your dreams, truly, and have all the financial freedom you want. Because it isn't what you deserve it all. But you will get as much as you truly want. All right? Thank you so very, very much.